There we go. All right. So, second video for the day. And this time, as a parent, we homeschool. I guess I'm jumping right into this one. Um, and there's sometimes things that you'll just get this instinct or whatever, and you're like, I just can't do that. We have a really amazing homeschool group, and unfortunately, we've missed a lot of things with my pregnancy stuff and then with the iron stuff, and it's kind of sucked because it has really brought up feelings of unworthiness as a mother, that I've been trying to deal with and work through and just go like, is this really valid, or do I need to just honor this point in my life? Feelings of just laziness, and worth, um, because there you know there have been times that I just actually need to rest, and I can't go run children to activities um, and just keep up with them. And I have a really great group of friends, and they help, but at the end of the day, you gotta, like, you're the one that's accountable for them. um, and I had an incident happen with my third child, and my third daughter, uh, a few years ago, where, kind of against my better judgment, I took them creek stomping, and um, the creek was high and the water was a bit colder, and uh, she literally got swept away from me because I was trying to go with the flow, let my older kids play, and that really, I'm stuck with a baby in a carrier, and where she had kind of gotten swept into got much deeper. And if I had followed her to go after her, then the baby would have possibly been submerged. And it was a true feeling of helplessness. My older kids were too far to help me, and no one around me was helping me. It was just a different group of people at the time. And eventually, like me hollering for help, somebody did come to help. But there's those several minutes of panic. And as a child, I almost drowned in a pool. Um, and so it just, brought up a lot of feelings and emotions. And I honestly don't think I ever really dealt with that. So our group was going to go creek stomping, and it's a little bit early in the season. The water's still really cool. We had gotten more rain, so the water was up. So it's deeper again, it's cooler again, and just, my husband was even going to be able to go, but I was just like, I can't do this. Um, like, I'm willing to have this moment where I do this later this summer, um, but I'm not willing to be compromised in similar situations now. It just, my mom gut was going nuts. And it was really hard because, um, the group was like, oh, we're going to miss you. And, the big kids want to see your oldest. And I was just like, yeah, I'm sorry. I can't. If we want to do a playground or something instead, then that's great. But if you guys are going to do any kind of creek today, even if it's a smaller, less deep creek, I can't do it. And it's hard to go through and explain all of that trauma to somebody to get them to maybe understand. And um, so instead, my other friend who is in the same group but wasn't gonna deal with the cold water and stuff like that, she just came over and we hung out and whatever. But it still brings up feelings of worthiness. I'm not doing enough as a mom. I should try harder. Gosh, 3 or 4 other moms went out and they still did this. What's wrong with me, and why can't I do this? And I think that's one of those times that for me, I need to have love, kindness, understanding, compassion for me. And nobody else is going to get it, probably. And that's okay. I don't need anybody else to validate what I am feeling. I mean, it's nice if other people can validate you, but if they can't, you have to be okay with that too. And, you know, it bothered me that other people didn't get it. Um, it bothered me that, like, we couldn't just switch the days for the playground and the creek and stuff since it was cooler anyway. Um, and, you know, they had a valid reason their kids were going to be disappointed and stuff like that if they didn't do it that day. And I get that too. And that's where, you know, love and compassion and understanding for the other person comes into play too. And there's no right or wrong, it is. And, but as a mom, I recognize that I was not going to put myself, even with my spouse being able to come, in a similar situation where I felt at risk, or more vulnerable. I really wanted whatever experience of, you know, going creek stomping again or whatever with my kids and doing that, I wanted it to be, I'd rather it be the most ideal versus pushing the issue and going, you should go just because. You should go because all these other people are going. And that was hard to sit with and work through. Because I really had to be okay with me, and my worth as a mom. So, you know, at the end of the day, we did not go. We actually planted stuff in the garden that day and then had one of the other friends come over, and it was a nice day. My oldest was probably the most bummed because she, you know, there's a good group of teenagers in our homeschool group, and she didn't get to see them. But my other kids were okay. They were like, well, we're disappointed that we're not going creek stomping, but we'll go again, right? And I was like, yeah, we'll go again, and Papa can come with us now, and so it's all good. And they're like, okay. And they just played with their other friends. So I think sometimes we put a lot more stuff, expectations, and pressure on ourselves as parents, and really our kids are okay. And I mean, it's going to vary. You got to check in with your kids and see where they're at. And I just kind of talked to my oldest, who I knew would be the most affected, and said, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. And she didn't even remember the creek incident with her younger sibling, so she's kind of like, oh, well, okay, I get it a bit more, and that sort of thing. And so again, it is what it is. But I needed to work through my own self-validation and having that love and compassion and kindness for me too, as well as being understanding of other people that are in the group. And, you know, I'm sure we'll go again this summer. And even if not, we can go as a family. And really, that might be more the ideal answer, is doing it as a family first and then doing it with friends. And so when you're having those gut feelings and emotions, honoring them and working through them and not discarding them is really important, even if other people don't get it. And I mean, these are good friends that, you know, these are people that know, you know, intimate parts of my life that, and there just was no easy, quick way to explain it in a text, you know, where I was coming from. And even then, they might not get it. And I still, as a mom, need to be okay with that and trust my own valid gut feelings over anything. And I feel like that was really the lesson for me, was learning to work through and do that and be okay with it and not feel like I'm an inadequate mother because I couldn't do what everybody else was doing. And it's odd because there's other areas in my life that I don't do what anybody else does at all. I'm living out in the middle of nowhere, raising pigs and chickens, and I have a garden that's 75 by 20 feet and it's still too small. And most people don't do this. There are some that do this, but not most. And I'm completely okay with that part of my life. I'm completely okay that I'm in touch and doing with that. And I feel amazing about that. I feel special about that. But when it comes to something parenting wise, where I'm not doing what somebody else is doing, then I'm putting extra pressure and stress on myself. And it's, why am I doing that? Why am I not going with my gut here and being okay with it? And so it's really brought up a lot of those feelings. And I'll be honest, I haven't completely worked through that, because I think it's just something that I'm going to have to continue to process and work on. So, but at the same time, I know for other people that are going through this personal growth and enlightenment and things like that, I could stop with me and I could be like, gosh, they should have gotten it, and why can't they get it, and why couldn't they have just, switched the days and we could have been at the park? And there's part of me that validly feels that way. But there's this other part of me as an enlightened person that knows they have kids. Their kids are excited about going and doing this. That my feelings and my situations that have happened to me are for me to deal with, and they need, they have to deal with their own situation and what's best for the group as a whole. And I get that too. And it's a very weird, strange dichotomy to be in and see and understand, and having love and compassion for every single person involved, including myself. And I know and I hope that even just sharing that experience will, in fact, help somebody else. And so that's why I share it. Because, again, like I said at the end of my last video, I see a lot of amazing people. Lori Ladd is amazing, and Phil Good is amazing, and stuff like that. And I see a lot of amazing people putting stuff out there, but they don't have kids, and that's a very hard component to navigate right now. We had this intense energy surge on the Schumann the other day, 2 days ago or 3 days ago now, and oh my God, it literally kicked me on my ass, and I was really dizzy and had an intense headache, and it shifted through the collective because I'm talking to my other friends and they're feeling it too. They might not recognize what it was, but they felt it too. And I'm going, okay, so I know that other people need this. And, I do hope someday that I'm reaching, more people so that it can help more people. But right now, I'm happy to help whoever I can, even if I'm just helping me. Strange enough. So anyway, I hope you're having a good day. Let me know in the comments if you can, if these last 2 videos have helped you specifically as a parent. But even if not as a parent, even if you're just on this ascension journey and it's helping you in other facets of life, with work or school or whatever, just even with family in general. I really love people reaching out in the comments. It's like, it tickles me to death when I get a comment notification on YouTube. So if you feel like commenting, let me know if this is helping you, especially if you're a parent. And, again, that's one of my big bases for even doing videos, was to try to help other people clumsily or whatever, honestly, navigate the human experience of parenting through this beautiful journey. I hope you guys have a great day.